about the aorta. So the aorta is divided into the thoracic aorta and the abdominal aorta, depending on the location where it is found. So here we're going to discuss about the abdominal aorta. So the abdominal aorta, for the thoracic aorta, it crosses through the aortic hiatus, then enters into the abdomen. The moment it enters in the abdomen, it gives a branch at A1. Between A1 to A2, it gives a branch called the celiac trunk. So around here, this is our diaphragm. This is our diaphragm. So it enters through the aortic arch, and then it gives a first branch called the celiac trunk around this region. The celiac trunk will give three branches. The first one, which is called the left gastric artery, then the second one, which is the splenic artery, followed by the common hepatic artery. Then from that, it below the celiac trunk, which is the short branch, which will give another branch just a little bit below, which is called the superior mesenteric artery. Then below the superior mesenteric artery, it will give a branch called the renal artery. This one for the kidney. Then at level of L at level of L3, it will give another branch, which is the inferior mesenteric artery. Then at L4, it gives another. There is bifurcation at L4. So the aorta bifurcates to form the common iliac artery. This bifurcation. So the common iliac artery is from this to this. It's very short, common iliac artery. So for the common iliac artery, it will give off other branches again. Let me refer in. So the branches of the common iliac artery, there is external iliac artery and the internal iliac artery. And there is external iliac artery and the internal iliac artery. So let's talk about the external iliac artery. So the external iliac artery, it passes through the inguinal ligament. This is the inguinal ligament. So it passes below the inguinal ligament, and so the moment it passes below the inguinal ligament, it forms what we call the femoral artery. So the external iliac artery is therefore to supply the lower limbs, right? Then we go to the internal iliac artery, which is below. So the internal iliac artery and also bifurcates this internal iliac artery. So it bifurcates to form the anterior and posterior internal iliac arteries. Anterior and posterior. So the anterior will give off 8 branches, then the posterior will give off 4 branches. So the posterior internal iliac artery, the 4 branches of the posterior internal iliac artery are the superior gluteal artery. Then on top we have the iliolumbar artery, then followed by the 2 lateral sacral arteries, then followed by the superior gluteal artery. Then for the anterior internal iliac artery, it gives 8 branches, 4 visceral and 4 parietal branches. Then so these are the branches, and for the anterior, these 4 branches, this is an anterior and branch of the internal iliac artery. These are the branches. You see the branches. So it gives many branches. Some of them are the obturator artery, the umbilical artery, and the inferior gluteal artery, the middle rectal artery, the inferior vesical artery. Those branches are formed by the anterior branch of the internal iliac artery.